Welcome to These Are the Blades of Our Lives, the figure skating show where I talk to you about figure skating like it is drama for our mamas. Oh, today I will be recapping the one and only Grand Prix Espoo. So that means we are one Grand Prix away from the final. Now, Grand Prix Espoo went as I expected it to, but I also had some very pleasant surprises, especially in the short program for pairs and men, and then in the long program for the women. There was just some very unexpected, pleasant outing. Just to get something off my chest that's not related to Grand Prix Espoo, I was on figure skating Twitter and I read the statement made by Yuzuru Hanyu that he's getting a divorce simply because the harassment um, from the media in Japan, from some of the people, was just so much that he felt like he couldn't keep his wife in that situation and in that environment. And that just broke my heart because it's almost as if he's saying that the life he lives now is a prison and he doesn't want to keep the person that he loves in the prison with him. It's rather that he just stays in that prison by himself and he lets her go so that her and her family won't have to be harassed. They won't have to be locked inside because they couldn't go outside. They wouldn't have to succumb to so much slander. It's just at the end of the day, I feel like as human beings, we have this tendency to idolize, entertainers, athletes, K-pop idols. I'm a huge K-pop fan, and I know there is so much toxicity in the K-pop fandom where the fans begin to feel a sense of ownership to the idols, where the idols feel like they can't date. If they date, they have to apologize for it. Where it's almost like they have to exchange their humanity for the fame. And I feel like it's something similar that is happening to Hanyu. There is a sense of ownership that other people feel towards this human being that's just illogical. We are in no way entitled to someone's acting talent, their singing talent, their skating talent. We have no ownership to them, especially not to the point where we invade their personal privacy so much that he cannot even have a normal life and he has to end his marriage, let go of his happiness in order to protect the person that he loved. This is just, I feel like Hanyu, I just feel so devastated for him because it's like being an animal being kept in a zoo. What kind of life can he live? This was just so sad and I'm so sorry. I hope he finds a way. Maybe he has to leave Japan and live somewhere else, but I just hope he finds a way to get some kind of happiness that doesn't include this level of harassment that he seems to be getting from the media in Japan, as well as from some of the people who have an irrational sense of ownership to him. I just wanted to get that out there. Now, as for the skating itself, starting with the pairs, I did pick number one and number two. I did pick the gold and the silver medalists correctly, and I picked them in the right order. I'm not too sure that I agreed with it, even though I had picked it, but I did not pick the bronze medal list. But starting with the whole competition, this was a very rough competition. Several of the pairs had issues with their lifts. There's always issues with the side by side jumps. It was just a very scary looking competition. Um, I really thought that Brooke McIntosh and Benjamin Menard, the young Canadian pairs, would do better here, but they have been struggling all season. They had such a good season last year, and I thought they would be building on it, but unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's injury, if it's mental. Benjamin fell on his side by side jump, and that used to be their money thing that was the element that they were solid on, and that's starting to fall apart for them. The lifts, They also put down one of the lifts, and the lifts are major point getters, so that didn't really help their situation. um I also thought the Americans, Ellie Khan and Danny O'Shea, might have had a possible medal contention here. Did not happen. Another pair that put down a lift element, and the lift is their specialty. They have such beautiful lifts, yet in the free program that lift went down, and it was so sad to see. This was a very difficult program to watch overall. This was a very difficult, especially with Brooke and Benjamin. When she fell from that lift, this is where I'm like, we need a referee, because I would have stopped that competition immediately. Um, so this was a very difficult competition. And then we went to the French, who just had a really good competition at home where they won the bronze medal. They came here, same issues with the lift. This was also not their best outing. However, we get to the pewter here. Cheng Peng and Li Wang. Oh my God, when they finished that short program, I was so impressed. Once again, Cheng Peng landed her triple toe. Every time she lands a jump, I have a moment of extreme happiness. It has been an 11 years journey, because she came her first partnership, I think she was 15. So it's either been a 10 or an 11-year journey that I have been on with Cheng Peng. So every time she lands her jump, I'm so happy. I did not expect them to do so well in that short program, and I love that short program. It's so sophisticated, but it's uncluttered. They look elegant. Their lines are exquisite. Their skating skill number one in this field. And then we got to the free program, and they literally gave it away by not even trying the jump combination. They were literally the only pairs that had a clean free program. They had no negative GOE, but they did the triple toe. But when it came to the triple combination, they did a double, and they didn't even do a double double. They literally gave away that medal by not even bothering to do the jump, which was so sad to see. Their twist still needs work. Their throws not as great as we usually see with the Chinese. The lifts wonderful. They're really good in their lifts. I feel like this was such a missed opportunity. With a bronze medal here, they could have made it to the Grand Prix final, and now I don't believe they will. They still have a chance, but I do not believe they will. And it all came down to them not even doing a double double in the combination. They literally just left points on the ice and took away their opportunity to make it to the Grand Prix final. And it was very sad. In third place, again, this pair, I keep playing them. I'm sorry. I keep not having them on my radar. And I will be honest and tell you why. It's because I don't connect with this pair. I honestly don't connect with them. They are very proficient in their element. They are very consistent. They only had one error in the long program, and no mistakes in the short. They are a gritty team, but not really in the gritty kind of fighting way that I like. There's something very consistent about them. They get the elements done. They have the difficult technical, component. I just personally don't connect with this pair, and I feel like that's why they're never on my radar. This is their second competition where they came and they got the job done, and it's the second competition where I did not have them factor in. I need to change that. I need to really start looking at them, and I am talking about the Hungarian pair of Maria Palova and Alexei Snefchenko. Yeah, Maria and Alexei, they came, and it wasn't a clean program, but it was one of the cleanest performance of that night. Congratulations to them on winning, the bronze medal. Now, the judges put the Italian in the silver medal position, and I don't actually agree with that. They came, and again, they did not have a perfect competition here, but they had a relatively clean competition. Their speed were better, their lifts were better, their twist still needs work, their throws okay. But I feel like as a whole, they had the better competition here, and I would have had them in first. Again, I'm not here having a whole moment because even though they're in second, there is not that big of a point difference. It's only a 3 point difference between them and the German team. It's not like we have a 10 point Iteri bonus that's gonna get me upset where I'm like, why are you getting those 10 points? They're only behind by 3 points, which I can understand. But personally, I would have had the Italians ahead of the German. Now, when I did my pick, I had picked Minerva Fabienne Hayes and Nikita Volodin as the winners here. I had already had them as the winner because I feel like overall they have the best elements in this competition. Their twists, their throws, their jumps, when they have them on, they are the better pair. I do not feel like this was a competition where they had everything on, where they were the better competitors. I feel like this was not a great competition for them, and I don't think the judges should have put them in first place. I'm not saying this was a bad competition for them either. I just don't think the judges should have put them in first place. You know, that was just my personal opinion. They have another competition. I hope they take the time. I hope they go back and they come, and they really do what they need to do in that competition because this one really wasn't to the best of their ability. But all in all, for me, the people whom I really, really enjoyed were the Chinese. It's a shame that they didn't put in the necessary fight to get themselves a placement at the Grand Prix. If they had just done a double double, because the scores were so close. If they had just done a double double, I feel like they could have made it to the Grand Prix final. So I do feel like they simply just gave up on that. But the program itself, overall, I would say the Chinese were my favorite pairs, both in the short and in the long. Now moving on to the men. The men actually played out exactly as I thought it would. I literally had Kyle Muir in first, Shun Soto in second, and then Kevin Amos in third, and Matteo Rizzo in fourth. The only one I was way off on is my baby Kashiro Shimada. The men I feel like was really not bad. It wasn't this for a men's competition because sometimes the men's competition could be a hot mess. I feel like for a men's competition, this was not bad. You know, we we had some interesting situation here, guys. After the short program, when I saw that Jimmy Ma was in third place, Jimmy Ma, I was like, oh my God, is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be the competition where Jimmy Ma gets it together and medal? And then the long program came, and I was like, nope, 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 not quite, not quite, not yet. Yeah, he went from third to 11. That was a very difficult watch. First of all, the short program was not clean. This was not a clean short program by any of the men. None of the performances were anything to write home about. But the long program for Jimmy was not clean. He did just enough in the short program to be in third place, but the long program really was not clean. And then we had Otlev Levandi. I like this skater so much. Yes, he does not have the technical power of some of the other competitors, but he is so committed to every movement, every step, he is committed to the music, to the performance, to whatever he's trying to put out there. He has 100% commitment, and I respect that about him. I wish he would get the technical component together because that would just make it perfect. And then we also had Leon Kopensky eh, it was it was what it was. It was what it was. And then my baby Kishiro Shimada, he finished top six here. I will take it. The short program again wasn't perfect, but it was one of the best short program we've seen from him so far. And then we had the free. Again, it wasn't the best, but it was some of the best we've seen from him so far. I am still on the Kashiro Shimada ship because I believe he will deliver two clean programs. I know he can do it. Either it's going to be in Japanese national, four continent. He's going to do it. I'm going to continue on this ship. Nikolai Mamola, the young Italian, his quads are coming along quite nicely. He doesn't have complete control of his body yet, but he's a very long, tall skater. And so I think it's going to take him a while to fully be completely comfortable in his body. But once he gets that level of comfort, I think he's going to have some of the most pretty quads, to put it that way. I think his quads are just going to be very beautiful and very elegant looking in the air. He's not there yet, but I think he's going to get there. And then we got to Matteo Rizzo. Poor Matteo. They inviolated, the judges were like, your choreo sequence is not valid. But to be honest, I really don't see the body wave. I think he just should just take out the body wave and put in a more defined movement. I don't necessarily think they should have invalidated, wow, invalidated the entire sequence, but I could see where they're coming from. The body roll, I don't really see the purpose of it. But I did feel bad for Matteo. He looked upset. But I hope he goes back, that the team goes back, they fix the problem, and he comes back stronger at Italian national and stronger at European. Then we had Kevin Amos. Oh my goodness, that short program, those landings, Kevin's knees must be made of steel because I do not know how he hang on to some of those landings. And then he came back in the Bolero. Again, this wasn't his best outing. This wasn't a perfect outing. But he did what he needed to do to medal. And I think with a bronze medal here, he should make it to the Grand Prix final. I'm going to have to look at the numbers to see how it plays out. But I think this should be enough for Kevin to make it to the Grand Prix final. Then we had Shun Soto, who actually won the free here, and rightfully so. Even though it wasn't by much, he won it because he probably had the cleanest free. His short was okay. He made no major mistake, but he also doesn't have any memorable jumps or any memorable movement. But in the long program, he really gave it his all. Again, he is a skater that I've been watching since junior, and I think he has so much potential, but he's never been given the right material. I just want him to get two programs that I could be like, yes, these are the programs, and I can get behind it and fully support him. But it was really good to see him here win the silver medal, which with a silver medal and a bronze medal, I think that should also be enough for him to make it to the Grand Prix final. So it was really good to see him here. And then finally, the winner here, he won the short but not the free, was Kyle Mura. He's got a nice jump technique. Not crazy about either of his program, but he's got a nice jump technique, good skating skill. Every time I see him now, I remember the Beauty and the Beast program, and I'm like, bring back Beauty and the Beast. These programs, they don't really make that much of an impression on me. But again, he's got good skating skill. He needs to work on his spins. Good skating skills, good jumps. Overall, this was a good outing for him. Not great. So overall, the men, none of the men had what you would call skate of their life, skating moments here. They did just enough to get the job done. So overall, I was not wow or amazed by the men, but I appreciated that they did what they needed to do and got the job. Yeah, they got the job done. I wasn't overly impressed with what the men had to give me, but they got the job done. Then we made our way to the ice dance. Ice dance also kind of went more or less as I expected it. The only two pairs that managed to get switched around from what I had predicted was Emily Zingras, Vadim Kolesnik, and Christina Carrera and Anthony Podomarenko. So I thought that I thought that Emilia and Vadim would be over Christina and Anthony, and that was not how it turned out. So all the dancers here were really good. I felt bad for the German team, Jennifer Hasse von Rensberg and Benjamin Steffen. They had a mistake in the short, a mistake in the long, and I really feel like that kind of derailed their momentum. I really do like both of their programs, but I just feel like they haven't skated both of their programs at 100% yet, and I would like to see them do that. We also saw the young Canadians, Nadine Bushniska and Peter Beaumont. I do love that starting position for their free dance. And I also love that it's mirrored in the ending position of the free dance. I love that aspect of their program. They're growing. They're growing. I don't really have an opinion on them yet because they haven't left an impression on me, but they're growing. Then we had the young Czech team, the brother and sister, the MM brother and sister pair, Katrina Mazokov and Daniel Mazek. I think this team has so much potential. They have so much speed, nice skating skills. I just don't like their programs this season. I feel like they're more talented than the material that they're being given. Because when they were juniors, they had wonderful programs. Her in that skirt, it was just fabulous. And I just don't get that feeling from these programs this season. The skill and the talent is still there, just the material doesn't match it, in my opinion. Then we had Yuka Orihara and June Pereira. You guys know I love this team. I feel like she gives you Madonna at 100%. I think their free dance is super fun. I still think the judges need to get on board with this team because they are just so fabulous and they're only growing. They're getting stronger and stronger as the season go by. And I'm invested and interested to see where they go from here. Then we got to Emilia Zengas and Vadim Kolesnik. I honestly thought that the judges would be way more behind this team than they are. Again, Liberian girl, yeah, not really my favorite. I don't think Igor Spielberg did them any favor by giving them a Michael Jackson medley for the 80s. I think if they had been given a better rhythm dance program, it would have done them a lot. It would have done a lot better for them. I do, however, like their free dance. They have so much power, they have so much speed. There's a lot of cool lifts and good elements in that free dance. And I kind of feel bad that the rhythm dance is not up to par for it. But still, I mean, if we wanted the answer to the question of whether Igor Spielberg or the Madame, the Grande Dame, Marie-France Dubry, has more pull and more judges, we not have it. It is the Marie France Dupree camp, especially when you have the one and only Scott Moyer sitting in that kiss and cry as your coaches. The judges seem to know better. So Emilia Zengas and Vadim Kolesnik ended up fifth here, and I had them as fourth. So there goes that. And then Christina Carrera and Anthony Podomarenko, they ended up fourth here, which bodes very well for them for nationals. So we don't know if Hawaii and Baker are going to compete at national. So let's say Hawaii and Baker don't compete. That would mean we already know Madison Chalk and Evan Bates are gonna be your national champion. We know that Green and Parson are going to be your silver medalist if there's no Hawaii Baker. Then that means the bronze medal would be between Christina and Anthony and Amelia and Vladim. And so far, Christina and Anthony have beaten Amelia and Vladim at every competition that they've gone head to head. So that going into, and remember, figure skating, you're not judged based on one competition, you're judged based on a body of work. This to me gives Christina and Anthony that bronze medal unless something happens. So for Christina Carrera and Anthony Podomarenko, this was another very good outing for them. We will have to wait and see what happens at nationals if we're going to have Hawaii and Baker, because that will change, the placement. But if not, this is bold. This bodes well for Anthony and Christina. Then the bronze medalist was Julia Tekakila and Matthias Velus. This team is a very elegant looking team. Very, very traditionally what you think of when you think ice dance. They have nice lines. They're very pretty to look at. They're very what you would think of when you think of figure skating. And they have two good programs. There's nothing great, nothing to write home about, but again, nothing bad about it either. They're just a very pleasant, nice pair. And it was really good for them to win a medal here on home ice. Then, of course, we had the Canadian winning the silver medal, Laurence Fournier-Boudry and Nikolai Sarsen. Love that rhythm dance, except for the talking part. They look fabulous. They play the part well. Their movements are sharp. Their edges are clean. Not always for Nikolai, but for Lawrence, beautiful, nice edges. They have a good lift, interesting lift in the free. This is just a pair that I feel that is constantly shortchanged by the judges, and I don't understand why. I mean, he's gorgeous, she's beautiful, they make beautiful pictures on the ice. I don't love the Esmeralda. I mean, I really don't. And they have had some fabulous free dances. The Esmeralda is not one of those fabulous free dances for me, but it's not a horrible free dance either. All in all, I'm so invested into this pair, and I don't know why the judges keeps playing with them. So they're definitely a solid, you know, silver medalist. Who it knows at Canadian national. I would say they're a solid silver medalist. It just depends on how close is it going to be between Piper and Paul, Lawrence and Nikolai, and my Lala couple, Marjorie and Zach. How close are those scores going to be at Canadian Nationals? I'm really looking forward to Canadian Nationals, especially for the ice dance. And then finally, of course, the winners here obviously were Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. Very good in the rhythm dance. The rhythm dance, there was no mistakes. They were on it. Still not a rhythm dance that I'm in love with. Then we got to the free dance. Ooh, 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 Maddie, those twizzles. Ooh, girl. You were phoning in that twizzle. That was not good twizzles. But it's okay because all three of the top pairs seem to be struggling with their twizzles. But I still love this free dance. It's like Madison became a contortionist. The movements that her body is making in this free dance is just amazing. The lifts are amazing. The positions, everything is just amazing. And I really want them to like be able to skate it clean and at 100% because this is a very good free dance. I think it's 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 interesting. It's innovative. I just think that this free dance for me is the kind of free dance that I had been waiting for them to do. I feel like every season they do come out with something that's uniquely them, that's original. And because they do, I think it gets more and more difficult for them every season to come up with something new. But I'm still really happy with this free dance. It wasn't skated clean here, it wasn't at 100%, but I think they could get there. They definitely could get there, and I hope to see it soon. And then finally, we got to the ladies. This was not an amazing competition for the ladies, with the exception of one, Miss Amber Glenn. But for the rest of the women, this was not an amazing competition. This was not a let's write home about it competition. The Finnish women here, they did really well competing in home ice. You know, guys, you know how I feel about like skaters competing on home ice. I always feel like it's so difficult. It requires so much more energy than if you're skating away from home. They did the best they could to keep it together and to try to give, you know, their family and friends a good competition. So I was really happy for them, you know, that they skated to the best of their abilities. Then we had Star Andrews. I thought it might be possible for Star Andrews to have a top six finish here, but she missed her triple toe combination in the short program, which sort of put her out of that top six range. And then the first half of that free program was very, very difficult. It was just fall after fall after fall. She did manage to shake everything off and get it together for the second half of the competition, but at that point, the damage was already done. And it was really, really hard, you know, to see that. But sometimes that's what happened. Also, Nana Kawabe was also another one. The short program, the jumps just were not in her favor. She came back in the free and she fought. It wasn't 100%, but she did what she could. A similar situation with Young Yu. Doesn't have the triple triple. She did a triple double. The jumps look good. The spins look good. She was looking really good and composed in the short program. Unfortunately, she's just getting back from injury. The body hasn't built the stamina that it needs to build to be at maximum level of competition. And so she kind of ran out of gas and couldn't quite do all the jumps that she needed to do. Then we got to the Italian Lara Naki Goodman. I am a fan of Lara because we all know the Italians really want that Olympic, the team medal on home ice. They have good ice dance, they have a good pair, they have good men. They just need that good woman skater to complete the package. And Lara could be it for them. She's an interesting skater. She has a unique point of view. She's always doing innovative programs. And even though she only has a triple double, most of the time she did the triple Euler triple in the free program here. Yes, it was under rotated, but the fact that she did it means she is pushing herself, trying to get that technical component higher, trying to be competitive with the rest of the field. And I like to see that. Lara, don't give up. You can do it. I know you can do it. Please continue on this path. Then we also had Nella Pelkonen. I think she's a girthy jumper in the making, guys. She doesn't have control over her jumps, but oh my God, her jump technique is beautiful. Strong knees, good back, nice posture. Ah, she's got beautiful jumps. No triple triple, but a solid foundation for all of her triples and the triple double. She's got potential to be a girthy jumper. I just wish she could get it together. And then we had the Frenchman, the French woman, Laurine Charles. Oh my God, her jump technique is so out there. It is such a French jump technique. There is a She's got you by the strap of your boot. There's a level of excitement, will she, won't she, to her jump technique that you just can't keep your eyes off. And I don't think they could fix it. I don't think there's any way to fix this jump technique, but it's very interesting to watch her skate with that particular jump technique. Um, but she's making it work for her, which I think is very French. It's very French. And then the heartbreak of that night was Cheon Kim. She was probably the last hope for a South Korean woman to make it to the Grand Prix final. And that is a lot of pressure to be under. And I mean, Cheon is such a little firecracker. She's such a fighter. And she's been fighting all season. She has been solid all season. Unfortunately, she just couldn't handle the pressure in that free program. The short program was very standard for what she's been doing all season. But the free dance was the first time I saw Cheon make that many mistakes. There was falls, there was double footed. It was just not her best outing, and it was truly sad to see because I really wanted her to make the final. She's such an interesting skater to watch. So this was really heartbreaking for her, but I hope she takes the time, go back, prepare for South Korean nationals. Hopefully they'll send her to four continent, and then by the time world comes, that'll build up her confidence and she can go in there and get the job done. And then the moment the event was Miss Amber Glenn. Guys, after that short program where it just wasn't Amber's night, where nothing went as she probably prepared for, as she probably expected, my heart sank. I was like, no, not another heartbreak for Amber. And then the free program started. She went into that triple axel and she popped it. And I was like, my heart just sank. I was like, oh God, not again. But then Amber got it together. The first triple passage, she was a little shaky. Then the follow up triple jump, she was a little shaky. But as the program went along, her confidence came back. Her body went into, automative mode, and she just started to shine, to come from 11th to 3rd place. It's wonderful. I am so happy for Amber. I'm so happy she managed to get that bronze medal here, because now she knows if she can take the short program that she had at Skate America and combines it with the long program that she had here with Espoo, she becomes a contender. She is now in the conversation. Now that she's done that good short program and she has the good long program under her belt, I hope this is the confidence booster that she needs to give us the Amber that we know she could be. I really hope this is the missing part. This is the next step into Amber's growth as a skater. But I'm so happy. After so many heartache, I'm just so happy for Amber to have her moment. The silver medal went to Rion Sumiyoshi. The short program was good. The free program was a little rough. The quad was definitely under rotated, definitely two-footed. She was making a lot of mistakes in her jump passage, which we normally don't see. I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know if it's the pressure, the fact that she was in second place, that she knew there was a possibility for her to win it, since the other late women were not perfect. I don't know what it was, but the first part of, the free program was very shaky. But again, this is the mindset of a competitor, of a champion. She got it back together in the second half of the program, and she did enough to keep her second place position. She didn't have the skate of her life. She did lose the free program to Amber Glenn. but she did enough to get the job done. She kept her mind, she kept herself composed enough to get the job done. And that was really great to see. And then, of course, our winner, as to be expected, was the one and only Kari Sakamoto. This was not a good outing for her. This was not a good outing for her. The short program, she doubled her triple combination. So she did, I think she did a double flip, triple toe. Still, it was amazing. Or was it a triple lutz? No, she did a triple lutz. She did a double lutz triple toe. It was amazing that she managed to get that triple toe on the back of that double lutz, because that was not a good double lutz. That just showed how well trained she is. Her body went into action and did what needed to be done. So she was in first place after the short program based on the other elements, her speed, her ice coverage, the spins, her presentation. That kept her in first place. And then we came to the free program. Again, she didn't make any major mistake until that very last triple loop jump, where she just kind of completely lost control of it. But until that moment, the program was relatively good. But if this wasn't like a relaxed, easy program, you could see there were some places where she was fighting through it, where she was struggling. Again, she probably needs to go back, train it some more, do some more run throughs, get it to where it's perfectly comfortable for her. But all in all, this was a fair win for her. It wasn't her best competition, but it was definitely a fair win for her. Now, that is my take on the Grand Prix Espoo. But you guys let me know what you thought. Leave me your comments below.